Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikea Alexis, and today I am going to be sharing my favorite eyeshadow palettes from 2017. So this is like one of my first favorites videos. I haven't done one of these yet, but I figured I would do one because I feel like 2017 was like the year of eyeshadow palettes. So many beauty influencers came out with collaborations that included eyeshadow. And also, I just feel like I purchased a lot of eyeshadow back in 2017. So I wanted to share with y'all a few of the favorites that I purchased. Most of these actually happen to be collaborations with some of my favorite YouTubers or beauty influencers. So yeah, I'm gonna be sure to link everything down below. If they are in stock, I will be sure to link them below. And as always, if you love this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Alrighty. Okay, so this year, not this year, sorry, we're in 2018 now. In 2017, I feel like Colourpop was just all over the place. I mean, not all over the place in a bad way, but like they literally had a palette out every week. I mean, every week or month, I saw something from Colourpop, and I was just like, y'all got to stop. You are hurting my bank account, and not good at all. So honestly, I mean, I'm here for all of the Colourpop eyeshadows, and I have a few of them that just so happen to be my favorite. The first two palettes that I love from Colourpop that came out in 2017 is a collaboration that they did with one of my favorite YouTubers, which is I Love Sadai. She came out with two of the quads with them, and the first one is Saucy, which is like super cute, and it's more of like a nighttime palette. It's really pretty, and this is my first time actually using the pressed pigmented or the pressed shadows from Colourpop. I have always used like the Super Shock ones, but this was my first time trying these pressed ones, and I really like them. So I was so happy when Sadai came out with this collaboration with them, because I am here for all these colors. You probably have seen me use this in a couple of my tutorials already, but I'm here for it. This color Razzie right here is definitely my favorite. And then also she came out with another palette, which is more like a daytime palette to me. I actually use this palette every single day. This one is called Cheeky, and again, it's more like neutrals and more daytime-ish, and I'm here for this palette too. I love these Colourpop palettes. Also, Colourpop did a collaboration with Karrueche this year, and this is called the Femme Rosa palette. Now, I purchased this one because it was a little bit different than what I was used to. You see it has like purples and pinks in it. It was a little different than like I typically would use browns and neutrals, and I wanted to kind of play around with eyeshadow in 2017. So this was probably one of the first colorful palettes that I purchased. And it's really pretty. The colors are so pigmented and just so creamy, and I love just like the different colors that came in this palette. I really think they did a great job with this one. Now, I'm not sure if this palette is in stock anymore because it is always sold out every time I get on their website, but I will definitely link it down below if it is available. And then the last palette that I loved in 2017 from Colourpop is the Yes Please palette. The front of it says Cute AF, but it really is the Yes Please palette. It is really dingy and dirty because, y'all, this palette is like my life. It's kind of embarrassing how dingy this palette is, but it is my life. I love this palette so much. I mean, honestly, when I look at these colors, they just scream me, to be completely honest. They have like reds and oranges and browns and golds. Like, this is literally the perfect palette for me. I use this palette all the time. You can tell I've been dibbling and dabbing all up into this palette, and Colourpop did a really great job. And by the way, their little mini palettes like this are $16. That is such a great deal because you get 12 eyeshadows for 16 bucks. So I mean, you know, how can you go wrong with that? Okay, so another palette that I really loved in 2017 is actually a drugstore palette, and it is from Maybelline, and this is the City Mini palette, which is a Maybelline collaboration that they did with Makeup Shayla. So if y'all don't know this about me, you may know this if you follow me on Instagram, but I am so obsessed with Makeup Shayla. She is literally like my favorite YouTuber or beauty influencer, and I was so excited when I found out that she was going to be having a collaboration with Maybelline. I mean, it's the first time that they've actually had a collaboration with a beauty influencer, and for them to pick Shayla, I just thought that was so amazing and so cool to see. And what's so great is that, like, every time I go into CVS or Walgreens or any drugstore, I literally see her face. Like, I walk by the Maybelline section just so I can see her picture, and I'm just like, wow, that shows me if you just work hard and you just keep following your dreams, anything can happen. And I'm sorry for going off into a rant, but I love this palette that she created with Maybelline in her collaboration. Now, this is my first time trying the City Mini palettes that Maybelline has created, but these ones are such good quality. I think this is like $9, and there's 2 matte colors, and then there's also a few satins and one shimmer. And oh my gosh, let me just show y'all how creamy and pigmented this color is. Don't judge my swatches because they're pretty terrible, but I just want to show y'all how great of the quality this palette is. It is amazing. So here's like a little swatch. Okay, again, don't judge my swatches. I'm really terrible at swatches, but yes, this is a really great palette, especially for the drugstore. I don't really dab into too many drugstore palettes, but this one I definitely recommend. And actually, I plan on doing a drugstore look, like a complete drugstore look from my entire face. So comment down below if you have some of your favorite drugstore products that you would like me to try out, because again, I don't really use too many drugstore products for the eyes. I typically use drugstore products for maybe like mascara or like lip glosses and lipsticks, but I don't typically use them for eyeshadow. So I would love to create an all drugstore look. So comment down below and let me know about that. Now back to my favorite palettes. This is another collaboration that came out kind of later in the year. This actually came out a few months ago, but this is another YouTuber that I really like and really admire. And this is the It's My Ray Ray palette. She did a collaboration with BH Cosmetics, and y'all, this is probably the most convenient palette I actually own. I literally can throw this palette everywhere. So the cool thing about this palette is that on one side, it comes with your highlighters at the top and some contour powders. And then also it comes with your eyeshadows right here, which is so perfect. And then it comes with this huge mirror. Whoops. It comes with this huge mirror, so you literally can just pack this whole entire thing up and go. I have traveled with this ever since I purchased it. I've traveled with it everywhere, and I love it. Now, this is actually my first time trying BH Cosmetics eyeshadows as well. I love their brushes, but I had never tried their eyeshadows, and I have to say, these are so creamy. I actually created this look today with this palette right here. The shadows are so creamy and so pigmented. And I believe this palette costs like 22 bucks if I'm not mistaken. And I've also seen that they have like a sale here and there. So I will definitely link this down below. This is from BH Cosmetics, and it's the collaboration with It's My Ray Ray. Alrighty, so we are actually almost done. I only have 2 more palettes. That is crazy because I feel like I purchased a lot of palettes last year. But this is probably the most talked about, most popular palette of 2017. I mean, if you don't know about this palette, you were probably under a rock. Hopefully you weren't, but you were probably under a rock. Seriously, everybody and their grandma, their aunties, their uncles, their cousins, brothers, sisters, everybody and their mama had this palette and was talking about this palette. So this is the famous Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. Y'all, let me just tell y'all a little story about this palette. First off, the colors are really, really pretty and very versatile. I love how like pretty and just like the different range of colors that are in this palette. But let me tell y'all about this palette. So when I first saw that the Jaclyn Hill palette was coming out and she was doing another collaboration with Morphe, I just wasn't here for it. I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't here for it. I think it's just because I felt like I owned so many colors that were similar to what was in this palette, and I just didn't want to buy it. But then I watched like 50 to 60 different reviews on the palette, and I was like, is it really worth the hype? You know, are people just hyping this up because it's Jaclyn Hill? I mean, we all love Jaclyn, but is this really worth the hype? Like, do I really need this palette? Let me tell y'all, this is seriously probably one of the best palettes that came out. The colors are so creamy and so pigmented, and when I say that, I'm comparing them to other Morphe palettes that I own, and I honestly think that this is the best Morphe palette that has ever come out. The colors are just like so rich. They kind of are on the same scale as like Natasha Denona palettes, just how they feel, how buttery and how soft they feel. And I really do love the range and shade of colors that come in this palette, because these are all colors that I definitely recommend for you to purchase, especially if you're someone that's trying to get into eyeshadow and to try to test out different colors. This one's pretty affordable. I think it's less than $30, and also there's just such a great range of colors that you really do get your money's worth, and it's great for practice, and it's just great for creating daytime looks, nighttime looks, all of that. So that's the Jaclyn Hill palette. Alrighty, and last but definitely not least, oh my gosh, y'all, now this is actually probably my favorite palette. This is the Hutta Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Y'all, oh my gosh, I love this palette so much. I know I said that all throughout the video, that I love this palette and I love that palette, but seriously, this Hutta Beauty palette, Hutta was not playing with this palette. Look at how pretty the colors are. I don't even know if the camera is showing them as accurately as they are, but the colors are just so pretty. And I kind of have a little story about this one too. So I was not here for Hutta and her eyeshadow palettes. Not Hutta, but I just wasn't here for her eyeshadow palettes because I had tried the Rose Gold palette and I tried a few of the Obsessions palette. I had the warm one and the Mauve Obsessions palette, and I just wasn't here for any of those. I actually ended up returning all three of those palettes. So I was just like, you know what, I'll try other products from Hutta, but I don't think I'm going to be trying any more eyeshadow palettes. Now this one had actually come out before the Mauve Obsessions, but I wasn't here for her, so I was just kind of like not going to buy it. Something in my spirit was like, girl, you need that palette. And I was just like, nah, you know, I'm not about to spend my coins on any more Hutta Beauty palettes. Well, one day I was just walking around Sephora, and I honestly had seen the palette so many times. I had tried them out, tested out the colors, didn't want them then, but for some reason this day I just felt like I needed to throw it in my cart. So I throw this palette in my cart and I get home and I immediately create a look with it. And y'all, this palette is like life, okay? Life. It has the prettiest colors in it, and to me this is like a palette that I use most often just because I've been really into creating cranberry looks and purple looks and like just deep, fun, cool kind of looks. So this palette is just perfect for that. I mean, as you can see, you have like all these cranberries, you have glitters, you have shimmers, you literally have everything you need in this palette. Now I kind of wish she had like a darker brown, because this one right here, it looks like a brown, but really when you put it on your eyes, it's more like a rust color or a reddish color. So I do wish she had like a little deeper, darker cocoa brown, but other than that, y'all, this palette is life. The packaging is also really great. I don't have the box or anything that it came with, but the packaging is so nice. I feel like she really took her time on this palette, and I'm not trying to compare it to the first one, but that first palette that she came out with, the rose gold one, I was just not a fan of at all. I actually just returned that immediately because I was not a fan, but I really am so happy that I got this palette because I love it so much. But again, that is the Hutta Beauty palette. I literally love all these palettes and I use all of them. Most of them are pretty affordable. I will say this Hutta palette is a pretty penny, and I did use my birthday coupon to buy these ones. So yeah, if you really are just like, you know, feeling fancy, then I would say purchase this one, but it is a pretty penny. Again though, these are my favorite palettes from 2017. My voice is like going in and out. Sorry, I've been a little sick too, so sorry if I sound like a little crazy, but these are my favorite palettes of 2017. Comment down below your favorite palettes that you enjoy. I did want to mention that I did purchase a few other palettes in 2017, but they came out a little bit later, like in November and December. One of those being the Kathleen Lights palette that came out, which was a collaboration with Colourpop. And then also Too Faced came out with their chocolate dipped in gold, or the chocolate gold palette. It's like all shimmers. I actually purchased those ones as well, but I've only used those maybe once or twice, so I didn't want to mention them in this favorites. But all these other palettes I really do love, and I'll be sure to link them down below if they're still in stock. And as always, if you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Alrighty, I'll see y'all later. Bye.